Yeah, that's right, guys. It's the Beard Gang.
The Extraordinary Gentleman.
Big gang, it's a beard thing. Yeah, big gang, it's a beard thing.
This is my boy Moto right here. Beard Gang.
Big gang, it's a beard thing. Come out the barbershop looking like money. Gotta talk, I let my beard talk for me. Ain't no guy slicker than this young fly mister. Got the thigh tickle, she scream when I look at y'all. So put your game down, party like me. Shit, all I drink is Long Island iced tea. And tonight we going in and in. Longer than the hairs on my chin and chin. Big gang representative, oh, we came to get it in. American dream, baby, damn Bilzerian. Bad boy, yeah, I'm all about the Benjamins. And I'm dapper down, we extraordinary gentlemen.
That's right, guys. What's going on? Right now, you are listening to the newest broadcast, podcast, whatever the fuck kind of cast you want to call it, right now on YouTube. Listen to this beat, man. This shit is hot right here. Listen to this. You don't get much better than Long Island, East Coast fucking hip-hop rap where it all started from. All right, guys, kill that music. All right, listen, guys, here it is. We are here, guys. This is called Keepin' It Hundy here on YouTube, guys, where we're going to talk about everything on YouTube and everything in the world, sports. We're going to be covering it here on this podcast, guys. You know, I don't know if you guys know me too well. My name is Kenny Mo. I've been on Shot from the Point Dead numerous times. I've done song parodies, comedy skits, and my Mac and the Mad Dog radio program here on Sports Radio 66 WFAN, The Fan, New York. I've done it all for a couple of different people on YouTube. Dead on Dave, another great show on YouTube, another great broadcasting channel, bringing you everything from wrestling to baseball, and I mean, they just do it all. Tommy C, been on his show, like I said, a couple of times. He's a great guy. I've done a lot of things with him as well, with the guys over there, with Frenchie Ben, Jeff, all those guys, Jake Link, a bunch of good guys. But this is where we're going to touch on a lot of things on this podcast. We're going to be covering the Baited podcast when they do an episode. We're going to give you a little segment of that, touch on that area in the YouTube world. We're going to touch on everything, and we're going to keep it 100% with you guys. We're not going to shade anything. And I know I'm a little biased because I do and have done work with Tommy C over on Shot from the Point and Dead. And I have done things with Dead on Dave as well in the past. And I love those guys a lot. So I am biased when it comes to anything having to do with them. That's why I bring these two guys in on the show. Because these guys can bring you full 100% objective look towards everything we're going to be vibing about on this show. And anything that I would be biased about doing this on my own, I bring these guys in because these guys are very smart. One of these guys is a comic on Long Island. He's fucking very witty. He knows what he's doing. He's quick on his feet. You probably heard of him before. He's the Filthy Mouth Gamer on FoulMouthsNetwork. He's been a lifetime gamer, among other things that this guy does. He writes. He, like I said, he's into comedy. He writes for other people. He's been on the circuit and the scene on Long Island as far as the comedy scene. And another guy that I got in here with me is a broadcaster. He's been to Connecticut Broadcasting School. He's done it all. He's been intern. He's been this. He's been that. He's been pissed on and shitted on by some of the biggest names in the business in New York as far as music and sports entertainment and that type of world. And the people I'm talking about right now is, of course, the Filthy Mouth Gamer, Mike, and also my producer / do-it-all, because he's used to being pissed on and shitted on, and his name is Lucky Low. So I want to bring these guys in. Guys, what's going on?
How you doing, Ken? It's good to be here.
What's up?
Right.
We're trying to keep it 100, and already you're full of shit because I have no talent. I'm a low-life piece of shit. I was a bum living in a fucking box, and you give me $10, you put a fucking pair of headphones in my head. The fuck are you talking about?
Listen, I was expecting money after this, so now you just blew it for yourself. Because now. But anyway, listen, guys. I know you guys are fully aware of what's going on in the world of YouTube because I know you guys haven't always been involved in the whole world of YouTube, and I know you guys have paid, attention to it throughout the years of YouTube, this great invention that we call YouTube that came out. I mean, it really is, if you think about it, just YouTube overall is a great tool to have for a lot of people who, if they go out there and, for one circumstance or the other, can't make it in doing, if they want to entertain level or just, get their word heard. This thing is a great format for something like that. And, I know you guys have paid attention to it and seen what's going on lately in the world of drama having to do with YouTube, and I'm sure you guys heard of your Keemstars and your
unfortunately.
Yeah, so I mean that's why I bring you guys in, because you guys can speak objectively about that. And the whole thing is, I've worked with some of these people before on YouTube. And like I said before in the intro, I'm a little biased when it comes to people that I've worked with and people that have had 100% respect for me and what I do, and vice versa. So that's where you guys come into. So when we're talking about any particular genre or person or show on YouTube, you guys, like the show's called Keepin It 100, you guys are going to keep it 100%, and I know that. So what I want to start off with today, we'll get right into it right now, I guess. What I want to start off with today is, and I'm sure you guys have seen this and you know about it, is the Baited podcast.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so this Baited podcast kind of sprung, from I'd say a circumstance that was kind of unforeseen circumstance that, Keem knew what he was doing. He knew that he had a podcast in mind, some kind of show in mind in particular that he was going to do down the road, because he's always doing something, this guy. So, he had something in mind down the road, and I know from my past history being on the show with Tommy that he had no pre-notion that he was going to be doing something like this with Keemstar or anybody like a Colossal is crazy, you know what I mean?
Listen, I'll give the guy credit. I mean, the guy came from, everybody turned on him and they hated the guy. And now all of a sudden he's got a podcast that's doing great right now, and even though he was supposed to supposedly do it with two other big YouTubers, he picked up the scraps and he picked these two small YouTubers and he's still doing great.
Yeah.
So that didn't even stop him.
No, it didn't. It didn't.
So I give him credit for that.
Filthy Mouth Gamer, have you seen what we're talking about right now? Anything having to do with the Baited podcast? You listen to anything going on with that?
Yeah, listen, before we start sucking each other's dicks and fucking, his dick and everybody else's dick, I mean, let's be honest. The fucking cashier up in Stop and Shop's got more Twitter followers than fucking Tommy C. I mean, let's be fucking for real. And before you start talking about YouTube and fucking how great YouTube invention is, we all know, according to Keemstar, you got to know the history of YouTube if you want to talk about YouTube.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you're saying. I know, yeah. He listen, I don't really defend Keemstar that much because of the whole, I do, trust me, because, like so many people that we know are East Coast guys. And to be honest with you, I dig what Keem does, because he's an East Coast guy, and I dig that type of that defensive comedy type of thing that he does. But with that said, I also am against a lot of shit this guy does and says, and that is one of them. He basically made the statement, I know exactly what you're talking about, where he was talking about, if you don't know the history like he does, because he's always like, okay, like I'm in this industry for like years, okay, and like, this isn't right, and it's like slander, okay, and like when someone swats you, all right, when someone swats you, all right, okay, it's like when someone, and it's not right, okay, and it's like if you swat me as many times as you swat me, I'm gonna give you a job in a podcast. All right.
Listen, Ken,
all right. It's like,
I totally agree with you. A guy, he's from the East Coast himself, so he should know like anybody else would know. If you're from the East Coast, don't play the fucking victim.
Yeah.
You can't play that card. And it's not going to work.
The other thing is, what has he been doing since like 2009? The guy acts like he's fucking Johnny Carson. He's got to relax.
I know. Listen. He definitely does have a wide head for himself, and I agree with that. And like what you said before about the whole Tommy C Twitter following, I understand about that too. But what you got to understand is Tommy C is an up and coming guy. He's very excited about this because this guy's been going for 4 or 5 fucking years straight, plugging away at this, what we're trying to break into, what so many people are trying to break into, the whole entertainment era and way of YouTube. And Tommy, you know, listen, I can't blame him for going and taking this podcast, this offer that he got. I can't blame him. You know, you had guys like Little Dick SD Card is Gaming, and like this guy fucking attacks him for going and doing what he's doing, and it's like, you know, who the fuck are you? I'm
well,
sure
there's different definitions.
Yeah, but listen, I'm sure if Keem went to fucking Little Dickhead SD Card is Gaming and said to him, listen, you little fucking twat, you could come on and you could suck my balls and cock too, and I'll give you a part of what I have. And he would have jumped on that dick too. And you know that right away. He wouldn't have been attacking Tommy C for fucking 9 weeks straight. He would have been fucking going into
David was just jealous.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, Davis is just
David is
envious
just jealous. HD, yes.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's envy. He envies Tommy C. He wants to be Tommy C. He wished that was him that had that opportunity.
Without a doubt. But the whole thing
at
is,
the end of the day,
the whole thing is, it's a whole different genre as well, because Tommy doesn't do what Little Dick HD does. Tommy does a whole different fucking thing. Tommy's talking about a sport. That's what his thing was first. Tommy C's network. It was a sport.
And where'd that get him?
Well, it got him into like the 2,500 range of subs, where that's a good following if you're doing a nice little hockey show, which he did. He presented a nice, fucking great formatted hockey show for a lot of followers. But his show started to evolve. And when it evolved in the way of who attacked him and what news was going on with that. So now his whole shit has taken a different route. It's taken on new co-hosts. It's taken on a whole new look, a whole new style, which I knew would happen because the best things on YouTube do evolve. You know what I mean?
He held his ground. Yeah.
Yeah.
He held his ground when he was attacked.
He fucking demolished Little Dick HD. He demolished him.
He held his ground, but at the same time, too.
Dude, his wife sat in a police station with him for like fucking 4 hours in Germany with their newborn child.
That's what I'm saying.
You know, like he went
waste your time?
Because he had to. His network was up against the fucking wall. You know, everything he built for 4 years was being stepped on. And you know what?
Wow.
Through all of that bullshit, right, came the light at the end of the tunnel. Because in his eyes right now, you heard one of his latest videos, he's made it. He's on his way to living his dream.
Listen,
he's living his dream right now, you know?
I know you're friends with Tommy, so all I can tell you is this, and I would tell him as a tip of advice. Don't ever forget where you came from, because he wants the red carpet rolled out for him already.
Oh, yeah.
You got to calm down.
You know, he don't want the red carpet rolled out. But
his head's so big, it's going to fucking roll off his shoulders.
His head is pretty big right now, but you know what? The guy is like living his dream. And you know what? I don't want to be the guy to like say, hey, Tommy, listen, you're letting too much out there for people to fucking judge you about. Because I'm in no way, shape, or form on here to tell this man what he should and what he shouldn't do, because he's been doing this thing a lot longer than me. Now, let me tell you this. To say who's better and who ain't at it is a whole nother thing. Now, I started off on Tommy's show. I did my little thing here. I learned my shit from him. I definitely sat back and listened and watched how he handled himself and how he took over the show and what he did. And I soaked in whatever I could. And I commend the guy for that. And you know what? This guy didn't have to give me a shot from a hole in the wall. So, you know what? I'm appreciative with that. So, like I said in the intro, I am biased towards him and his network. You know what I mean? But with that said, I also will give you my peace of mind on our show, on this.
Kenny, every time you're on a fucking show, the guy used to cut you off all the time.
Well, listen,
as far as I saw.
Well, listen, you're right, but he does that with all the guys. He cuts off a lot of people. You know,
Well, how far do you expect your show to go if you're going to cut off your fucking co-host?
See, this is what I think. I think you'll expect your show, if you're cutting off other people, to go as far as you. Just you. Like, that means that show is for you. That's for you.
Well, then call it the Tommy C show. Don't call it Shot from the Point.
Well, you know what? It is.
Just call it Tommy fucking C.
It is. It is.
Hold on a second. It's Shot from the Point Dead, and I didn't know.
It's called Shot from the Point Dead with Tommy C.
But you know why it's called Shot from Point Dead? Because they have Jeff on. It's like having a fucking dead body on with you. That's why it's called Shot from the Point Dead.
Oh, you know what?
The guy sits there. He looks like he's fucking holding a coffee enema in the whole fucking time.
You know what?
He literally put a poster up on on the fucking wall, and it would do the same exact fucking thing. It would be just as effective. Put a poster of Jeff on the fucking wall, and it would say exactly
He's right,
the amount
Kenny.
of
He's
same
fucking
shit
right.
as Jeff does.
All right, listen. Let me tell you something, though. Jeff, listen, he's a young, good-hearted person, all right? And I don't think he has a malice bone in his body. Although, if you do press the wrong button with Jeff, he's like a fucking tornado, and I've seen it before. But with that said, I understand where you guys are coming from. If that's not your thought of entertainment, then yeah, I could see you not being into a guy like Jeff.
It's definitely not. I mean, listen, I got to be honest. I don't really know these guys really well, so I'm just being a dick to be a dick.
Yeah.
But, it's not really, you're right. It's not really my cup of tea. Like, if I watch those shows, what do I really learn at the end of the day? I learn this guy's cunt hurts, this guy, his vagina is in need of repair.
No. Seriously. Tell me what you really do learn from what you've watched. What have you, learned about it? What he really does cover?
On the Baited podcast?
No, the Tommy C show. What you've watched from, yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what I've learned. I've learned he doesn't know when to shut the fuck up. I've learned that...
Now, be honest. These are the only things. I mean,
no, listen,
I like the part, but also give me the real.
No, I like that he talks hockey. Obviously, I'm a big hockey fan, and that's really cool. But also, listen, you got a decent amount of subscribers. You want to celebrate them and all that shit. Maybe you should put just a little work in your background. You know what I mean? Maybe you should.
Yeah, but listen, like I said, he's been going 4 years at this already.
Yeah, maybe you should own more than one fucking jersey hanging on the wall. Then jersey, one for each fucking year.
Okay. Let me tell you this: he's got one jersey hanging on the wall. Yeah, okay. He doesn't put much effort into the background that he does. But I got to tell you this: did you see the graphics he put up on every show?
Yeah, I will say that
he does have a great platform.
I will say that he does.
Yeah.
A good graphic.
He's very professional.
Yeah, so let me tell you this. If you're doing that much work on your computer with those graphics and the way that he presents that show, very much like a Dead on Dave presents his show, and very much like a Joe Cronin presents his show.
I caught that show, too. I've seen both of those shows.
Yeah, well, let me tell you.
Only very little.
That way, you don't really have to put much on your wall in the background when you're presenting a show like these three guys that I just mentioned are. And I understand where you're coming from. You got one fucking jersey slapped up on the wall for 13 years. I understand that. But if you notice on those shows that I mentioned, like Cronin show, he's got nothing but a fucking red light one week, or he's got his, a picture of his wife's twat slapped up on the wall for some donations or something like that. He doesn't put much effort into the background or anything like that, because these guys build up so nice on the computer with their graphics and the things they do in that sense that they really don't need to do that. You know what I mean? It's like,
no, they did come a long way. I'll give you that.
Oh my God! If you go back and you look at any one of these guys' channel and you go back to their first couple of broadcasts, oh my God, it's night and day. I went back and I've watched a lot of old Cronin stuff, and back then this guy didn't even know whether he was doing wrestling, whether he was talking about how hard his Scott-O was that night, how good his shower was. I mean, this guy was doing the most weirdest shit in the beginning on YouTube, bro. He was going in the bathroom, taking a dump, and talking for 20 minutes into the camera going for a half hour.
Yeah, and over time they progress. We all progress over time.
Then eventually this guy...
When you keep doing, and I'm sure you can agree with me, when you keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, and you don't change it up, you're not going to go anywhere.
Exactly.
You're never going to grow.
That's what Cronin did. He finally latched onto something and said, okay, I have a choice. Do I do hockey? Do I do wrestling? Do I do drama? He went with, okay, I'm going to do wrestling. I liked wrestling when I was a younger guy. I'm going to try that out. He didn't know he was going to do that on YouTube. And now, fast forward 4 or 5 years later, look what he's built. He's built a pretty damn good little career going there.
Wrestling is a very small niche.
It is.
I mean, it's only going to appeal to a certain amount of people.
You're right. And right now, he's about the 40,000 range in subs last I've looked.
And there's billions of people on this planet.
And let me tell you
come on.
Really, on YouTube, the farthest you're going to get doing what a Cronin is doing is maybe 80,000 at the most, 100,000 fans at the most watching you on YouTube. A thing like Tommy C's doing is something that can bud and blossom into something where you're getting 1 million views, because he does a live show and he does it weekly a lot.
Tommy's riding the wave. I don't blame him. I don't blame him him for riding the wave.
You know?
I would ride the wave too, but you gotta have your pride and you gotta have your dignity and you gotta take that shit with you. He's forgetting already where he came from. He's getting too fucking big-headed. He's just, as long as he keeps that in mind, he will be okay.
Who is he getting too big-headed and too, who is he forgetting?
He linked up with Keem and he linked up with Colossal. Is crazy.
And
that's great. No, I wouldn't. I'm not saying that. I wouldn't have passed up that opportunity. That's big.
Okay.
That's big. That's a big deal. But if you see he already is making a video about how he has 3,000 subs. That's great. That's wonderful.
Yeah, dude, listen to me. People make fucking sub videos when they hit 20, when they hit 50.
Well, just say thank you. That's all.
Yeah, well,
what are we gonna make a whole fucking video on?
He was doing that. He was saying thank you, man.
I don't know. Maybe to me it's just a little over the top.
Well, listen, some of them do get over the fucking top, man. I can guarantee that with you. And some of them, they stay humbled and they do what they got to do. And Tommy, he's still going back to hockey a lot, which I do commend him on, because a lot of people would have told him, yo, Tommy, do yourself a favor. You got all this shit from Keem and Colossal. Just jump on the whole genre of fucking the drama shit and just stay with that and really build your channel up with that, because there's a lot of subs in that. He said, okay, I'll do that, which he is doing that, but he also still plays the other side, which he didn't have to, and he's going to lose a little subs out of it because he did stay with that other side. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I'll give it up to Keem, because look at Keem. He got all the hate. He lost a lot.
Listen, in my eyes, Keem just took, and this is after I heard all 3 baited podcasts, Keem kind of went and said, you know what? I'm going to take these 2 loudmouth motherfuckers that I just dealt with in Tommy C and Colossal's Crazy, and I'm going to take these 2 loudmouths, and instead of them attacking the fuck out of me for the next fucking 3 years, I'm going to say, hey, do a podcast with me. That ought to shut them the fuck up about me. And guess what? It did. Because the both of them now aren't talking about Keem. Listen, Keem, I will harass the fucking shit out of you until you give me a podcast with you.
That guy.
Listen, come on now with that shit.
That guy just has to go back fucking being Batman's butler.
I mean, listen,
really,
this
stop
guy,
doing the fucking podcast.
This guy already got
get
a
the
leg up.
Batcave ready. You know what I mean? Like, seriously.
This guy already got a leg up with the fucking voice that he's got. He's already could be a fucking. I love these guys who come in from over there and their voices are like butter clean Scotch. They're just like butter.
Well, that's what he got going for.
And he's like,
he's got everything.
I love it. In the beginning of it, he's like, "Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Baited Podcast with
if the guy sounded like a crackhead, you'd think that he would have so many stars.
I'm not DJ Keemstar, all right? Okay, I love when okay, all right.
Let's get right into the news.
Into the news, I'm not Keemstar, DJ Keemstar. Okay, all right. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry, I did not mean to call you DJ. Oh my God.
The guy's got 1.4 fucking million subs, so there's much respect to you, Mr. Keemstar. I give you that much respect.
Yeah. Well, listen, Keemstar. Listen, I give respect to Keemstar. I give respect to Tommy C. Colossal, I never really watched his stuff. I didn't know he existed until Tommy intertwined with him. Listen, I respect all 3 of these guys because they're doing what they love, and they latched onto something, and they harassed Keemstar until they got a job. No, I'm just kidding. They latched onto something, and they're doing something they love. And you know what? They're getting a pretty damn good reaction from the 3 of them together. They got the 27th or 26th or whatever the fuck rank 23rd ranked podcast on iTunes. That's just like
congratulations.
Yeah, that's
guys.
just iTunes, not the whole internet. But that's still good. That's still definitely good. I wish them nothing but success because I do appreciate Tommy C and all the hard work that this dude has put in towards his channel. You know what? I hope it pays off for him. But listen, guys, we got to move away from this real quick because we spent a lot of time on this whole baited podcast bullshit, and I do like the show. Would you guys listen to it on a regular basis?
Yes, definitely.
All right.
I would. I'm not gonna lie. I've listened to it already. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, I wouldn't listen to it like if I'm in my work truck and I'm like, I gotta listen to this.
It's not my cup of tea, but you know what? We all feed off drama, and so do I.
Yeah, I like it, and I could listen to it, but it's not nothing I'm gonna go like crazy out of my way to listen to.
Listen, I like it, right? But I would like it more if there was less patting himself on the fucking back. They should call it the patting themselves on the back podcast.
See, I think you're right, but I think the more podcast shows that they get into it, the more episodes they get in, I think eventually you'll see less of that because that'll be out of the way of them introducing, okay, my dick is big, I started YouTube, blah, 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 blah.
You could tell they're getting more comfortable.
And then once they get that out of the way, I think, listen, by the third episode, it definitely got better than the first two. And Tommy, he didn't say shit in the first two episodes, basically. He was like, you want to talk about butlers? He was like, Keemstar, do you want a drink? That's all he's doing in the background. It was like, and he was like, all right, I'll take like okay, and not that much syrup in it.
Well, he didn't want to step on their toes.
Not that much syrup in it, all right? Okay.
They're big YouTubers.
Okay, Mike, do the laugh.
That's all you fucking heard the first two
Tommy,
shows.
shut the fuck up already and get my drink for me, okay?
Hang out
All
with
right?
chicks. You know when you hang out with a chick for the first time and she answers everything you say and you know she wants to fuck you?
It's like this. It was like everything Keemstar said, you heard this at the end of it. You know, and I like started this injury, okay? Okay, Tommy, you can shut the fuck up now, Tommy. Tommy! God damn it, Tommy! You're fired.
Yeah, it's over the top.
But yeah, it is. I mean, but listen, it's a good podcast. It's not the greatest,
Well,
but it's getting better. It's definitely getting better.
I'll stop breaking Tommy's balls. I'll give him credit where credit's due. The third podcast, he at least challenged, what is his name? Reamstar? People reaming his asshole? I forget what his name. He
Colossal's crazy and Keem. Yeah.
Colossal what? His cunt between his legs is colossal? I don't get that.
I never really heard of this colossal dude either, really.
No, actually, I have no problem.
He's got talent.
He's got a lot of guys. He's got a lot of followers, and he does have talent.
He's got a lot of subs real
Definitely
quick.
has talent, man. There's no doubt about it. But I'm an East Coast guy. I got to know talent. You got to have a lot of talent to impress me, and he definitely does have talent. There's no doubt about it.
The one thing I had a problem with he said was when he was questioning people making fun of shit that he doesn't like. And let me tell you something. If you want to talk comedy and you want to say what's funny and not, actually you have to be funny first if you want to talk funny. Don't tell other people who are funny what funny is when you're not fucking funny. You know what I mean? That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Got a point.
Just shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? If you don't think it's funny, that means it's not funny. It means you just don't have a sense of humor. That's all that means. To me, the funniest guys of all time were like George Carlin, guys like that, found the line and they crossed the fucking line.
Eddie Murphy.
Right.
Fucking
exactly.
All those guys crossed that line.
And if those guys didn't cross the line, you wouldn't even know who the fuck they were.
No, you're right. You're right about that.
Before we move on to the next topic, I just want to say I wish you guys luck on your Baited podcast. And just learn how to take criticism. I'm sure you can. So you're all big boys.
Oh, yeah. Listen, let me tell you something. Tommy C can take criticism from anybody. And let me tell you something. If you think you're going to hurt Tommy C from criticism, and I know you guys know this already, Tommy is like almost the closest you could get to impenetrable. Because this man, if you go back and you look at some of Joe Cronin shit that they did back in the day when they were first doing their shows and all that, they used to fucking beat on Tommy C. And do you know what Tommy C's job was for the Cronin show back in the day?
No, I have no idea.
It was basically the bulldog, the fucking hitman for the group. Anyone that would fuck with
Tommy C?
Yeah, listen to this. Anyone that would fuck with Joe Cronin, right? Anybody that would question Joe Cronin, anyone that would write a bad comment or say anything, Joe Cronin jumps on shit and he deletes it right away. He doesn't like anything bad being said about him. He flips out, right? So his job, Tommy C.
Part of the game there, Joe.
Yeah, it is, but listen, hey, everybody does their own thing, but whatever. He goes out, Tommy C, and he used to have to go out, find a person that was fucking with Joe, and destroy them. And he would. And trust me, if you go back and you look at tapes and you look at other wars that these guys had,
Tommy versus David.
Dude, let me tell you something.
He fucking wrecked David his game, and he wrecked him.
Not only that, dude, Tommy has dealt with other ignorant, stupid, fucking ignorant people, and he has ripped them all new asses. And some of them have come close to beating him, and some of them might have beat him. But you know what? Tommy is so good at it now, and he's been doing it so long now, that I knew once this little prick gaming asshole came in there, I knew he was going to get fucking destroyed. Destroyed. I knew it. I knew it was a matter of time before Tommy destroyed him. Now listen, Tommy sat there this whole time and he kept telling all the guys that are on his crew and all the fans, guys, don't worry, just stick with me, don't say anything, let me destroy this guy. I got the biggest fucking mouth ever and I'm gonna destroy him. And you know what? He did. He destroyed him, and he does have a big mouth. You know what I mean? But the whole thing was he wouldn't let anybody else in his crew really take that big of a swing back at him. Now, I did my whole fat shaming.
That must be that New Jersey mentality.
I don't know, but listen, I did my fat shaming video that I did. My little fucking... it was all joking. It was all satire. It was all fucking funny. It wasn't that
David
big of a deal.
streamed about
there was
it for 2
no
hours
reason
straight.
for David, HD little prick, to get mad about it. There was no reason for that because he knew it was a joke. I knew it was a joke. I didn't make a big deal out of him fucking blasting me like that. He didn't make a big deal until he went back on and then ripped me for 45 minutes, okay? Now, did I have a problem with it? No, but I wasn't allowed to really go back and fire that bad. Even on my own network, I kind of wasn't allowed. I was told, here's my advice. I wouldn't do this, this, and that, but you do what you got to do because you're a grown man. Now, that's basically saying to me, don't do it or else, there might be potential problems with you even being affiliated or whatever. So I just laid off of it. I didn't do nothing back. I put my trust into Tommy C that he was going to handle it, and you know what? He did. He crushed this guy like a fucking bug. And that comes from my point. Go back and look at fucking Cronin's old tapes on his network, and you will see where these guys learn how to battle with fucking people and really take these YouTube drama fights to the fullest extent, and they know what they're doing. And man, Tommy knew exactly what he was doing, and that's a slick motherfucker. He did it so much that he got David Little Dick Gaming to fucking go on his Twitter shit, go on there and say things like, guys, it's been fun when it lasted, and now I must throw some shrimp on the barbie.
Oh, I know who you're talking about now.
Because I cannot do it no more, and these fuckers attacked me, and they destroyed me, and they ruined me. Well, guess what, mate? Guess what, mate? Man, when you call me fat for 4 hours on a live stream, well, guess what? You got squashed like a little, tiny little pug. You little fucker. Bugger off, you cocksucker. Bugger off.
Wait.
Bugger off.
Isn't this the fucking twat that's from Scotland or whatever?
Now,
Yeah, that's him.
Well, why
David is
little
gaming
cock
HD.
Gaming. How does it
He
feel
does gaming videos.
No.
He talks
I'm going
over
to tell you
them.
what he does. All right. His gaming is like Major League Docking. That's the games he plays. The other game he plays is world-class synchronized dick eating.
Guy David H. fucking Dickoff was accused of cheating by a whole network.
What is he? Well, I really don't know much about this asshole. What does he play? What is his thing?
I'm not sure the game. There's a couple of them.
I'll tell you, one of them is CSGO.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Counter-Strike.
Yeah, but word on the street is this guy's a big fucking cheater.
Dude, listen, I've fucking played video games for fucking almost 40 fucking years, and that's what you got to deal with, just cheating cunts. And I've always said, what good is that? How do you know if you're good or not if you're just going to cheat? That's
How do you have
kind of
fun
shit.
cheating in the game? Play the fucking thing.
Well,
That's the point of the game.
When you're from Scotland and you wear a skirt, you
Hey, guys.
should take it in the fucking.
Hey guys, listen. This guy tried so hard to get Tommy's station taken down, the whole nine. He really tried as hard as he could. He actually, I don't know if he did it himself or he had somebody do it, but you guys know Jeff, the coffee enema dude. He, no, I'm just kidding. But
Jeff the corpse.
Listen, Jeff the corpse. He's actually, listen, he's a good guy, man. I'm telling you.
I'm going to call him. His nickname's going to be Rigor Mortis from now on.
Listen, rigor mortis, Jeff. Listen, he had his whole channel that the guy does cool things on it. He actually covers games. He does like MLB games a lot. He does live streaming MLB games, tournaments. He'll show you run around with his bloomers off for a half hour if you pay him. No, I'm just kidding about that last one. But he does a lot of things on there. Now he's working out on his channel. He has a big workout thing going on. And
we don't want to see this guy half naked. We don't.
I know,
see
but
that.
listen, he had this guy.
Come on.
I know, but Tommy C loves it. He's like, show
Show him your abs, and I'll lick them for you next time on live.
Yeah, what the fuck do we want to see that for?
Next on the Tommy C Show, I lick Jeff's sweat from his abs when it rolls off the side of his body.
No, I'm just kidding. He's doing a workout video now over on his network. He had his whole network on YouTube shut the fuck down. Can you believe that? He had the whole thing shut down out of nowhere. No one could even understand why. He contacts YouTube. YouTube's like, we don't know why it's shut down, bro. We have no clue. We checked everything, dude. He calls everybody he could call. Google this, Google that. The guy's like, no, we don't know nothing about anybody shutting your shit down. Nobody knows how this guy's shit got shut down. But 3 weeks later, all of a sudden, it starts uploading out of nowhere, slowly at a time. He started sending letters to this person, letters to that one, emails to this, email to that, doing this, doing that. Finally, the thing uploaded. Nobody could answer why it went off or anything like it, and it finally came back on. So this David H. Smallcock, he's done so many things. If it's not him directly, it's somebody he knows or somebody who did this to him or something like that. If maybe he was wearing a skirt one night and blowing a trombone, and somebody did this for him because they're like his lover or something. I don't know. But somebody hacked in this people's shit for this guy. And it was,
well, David should get a life.
That's all David H. team is getting a life. David H.
Get a life, David.
Yeah, David H. is getting a life now. They said next.
Oh, that's his next move.
Yeah, no, Mike. It's a new show. It's a new show. It's called Next Time on David HD is Getting a Life. Check it, folks. Would you like to date David HD?
Yeah, maybe then you don't have to buy subs and you'll actually get real ones.
Yeah, I know. A total purchase of subs because he was so quick to give up his whole network. He was like, guys, I've got to tell you, I've got to leave you because I can't do this no more. I can't do it because I like dirty skin. I want to touch it because it's salty, and I want to rub it all over my face, and I want to put it on the Barbie and eat it while I'm wearing my skirt, and you're fisting my asshole. I want you to fist my asshole, David H. Smallcock.
He's going nowhere real fast.
David H. Smallcock is fingering my asshole. Oh, God.
You know what he should have done? Instead of getting Jeff's fucking workout show thrown off, he should have done his own workout show and show how to work out your forearm.
No, but
you're fucking pumping a cock into your face.
Yo, you know what's
the guy don't show himself.
He sees me on a show weekly. He sees me make my own videos on my network, right? Foul mouth. Right?
Oh my God, he's creeping you.
And you know what's funny?
To fuck you.
He's a fucking stalker.
You know what's funny though? He never shows his face. You never seen it once. You never seen none. But he has the balls to sit on his network and talk to people and go, "Have you seen this guy? He's fat as hell. He looks so ugly." I'm like, yeah, it's
that's original.
Yeah,
and then 2016, David.
He says to me,
okay?
Mike, he says to me this. He says, I'll show everybody in my face when I reach 100,000 subscribers.
Oh my God!
Yeah, why don't you go join Beta too?
What a gimmick.
Show me your pimply Scottish skirt wearing fucking drunk red nose ass, you red Geppetto looking motherfucker. Go ahead and show me your face. I don't want to see it. You probably look like a fucking short haircut fucking soccer mom dyke.
He probably has like those pock marks where somebody set his face on fire and put out with a fucking golf shoe. You know? That's what he probably looks like. Why? This is so much fun. Shitting on people. I love shitting people's mouths. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we're just keeping it real, you know?
I'm like the scat man. You know?
Yeah. I'm the scat man. Remember that guy? I'm the
That's a guy with talent.
I leave scat up on your chest, rolling down your sleeve. Hey, Mike, remember back in the day when I would call you on my old computer, right?
Right.
When I go up to my room, right?
Is it the 1990s?
Wait, listen.
Dial-up?
Listen. Hello.
Holy shit.
Hello, Mike. Kenny. I want to leave you married because I can't speak to you over my phone. That is hooked up to a computer that is the size of my refrigerator. And I have a gerbil in a hamster wheel running like a motherfucker for power. This guy is just running and running for power.
If you were fucking Richard Gere, you'd have that gerbil running for power up your asshole.
Oh my God, Richard Gere. That's why they called him Richard Gere.
Right.
Yeah.
Because he was geared up with a fucking gerbil up his asshole.
I heard that he was like, I am a man who will fight for your gerbil.
You know what's funny? That's probably, it's good shit. That's just not even true about the gerbil.
Who will fight for your gerbil. The man that this gerbil's dreaming of.
I heard he graduated to guinea pigs now. He's taking whole guinea pigs.
Yes, I heard about that. Yes, from North Carolina named Melba. And he shoved it fist deep in his fucking ass on live TV, local live TV, Channel 7 down in Oklahoma.
Wow, exciting.
Yeah, it was exciting for Oklahoma. So yes, Richard Gere is one of a kind, man, I'll tell you. He's kind of like Tom Cruise a little bit.
Now, Tom Cruise is just a fucking...
Have you ever heard of this guy? You ready?
Hey, everyone, it's Joe for Joey Super Cool Food Reviews.
Have you ever heard of that guy right there?
Dude, listen,
sure.
that guy should start doing for real videos because you know that guy just wants to get on top of a cock and bite down on it like it's a fucking steak and go, hurr, 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 like it's a fucking Rottweiler on a steak. Just bite down on the head of a dick.
Joey Super Cool Food Reviews.
Dude, let me tell you something. He goes to Wendy's on a daily basis and gets a nice bowl of chili and pours it in his boyfriend's asshole and just eats it out for breakfast. That's what that guy Shut the fuck up already. God's sakes.
Yeah, the YouTube drama never
Where's the
ends.
Lee Harvey Oswald for that guy? You know? Where's the...
Oh my God.
For Joey Super Cool Food Reviews. Today, 7-Eleven. $5. Hey, everyone, it's Joe for Joey Super Cool Food Reviews. Today, I'm doing...
So you guys have seen this guy, right? Or no?
Pizza.
I've seen him.
I would pay to watch this guy eat
Fresh to go pizza.
live.
Asshole.
I'm
No,
dying to
live.
try
I really would, man. Not even asshole.
Pay for that.
So basically,
He's like, I'll eat it.
Little Caesars is
What about Shoe Nice? You ever seen Shoe Nice?
Caesars.
7-Eleven starting to
Little Caesars. Who the fuck eats that for real? Like, I mean, listen, we're from New York, so we have good pizza everywhere you go. But, dude, I would rather eat a fucking used tampon out of a dumpster than give me a fuck. And he reviews it as if it's like a 5-star restaurant, Chef Ramsay. Like, dude, it's disgusting, bro. I could shit in a diaper and put it on pizza, and it would taste better than Little Caesars.
Dude, listen to this, all right? Listen, tell me if you can hear this. You ready?
pizza, and there's a deal going on right now. And with this pizza, I got this, and I got two 2-liter bottles. I got Sprite and Coke. All this was $6.
Who watches this stuff?
So hurry up, 7-Eleven.
Listen, apparently 272,000 views just on that, and he's got 135,000 subs. This guy.
Unfucking believable.
Okay.
That's the problem with YouTube today.
So that's what people are watching this guy, because basically he goes to every single store in the world, in America, and he goes and he devours whatever the fuck is new, okay? And so that keeps his show going, because there's always something new coming out in one of these fat farms that are around the country, and he keeps going because his show's based on new. And he goes and he wolfs these things down. But the funny part is he has Tourette's, and nobody realizes it, because every time he fucking eats, he does the same noises. He goes, woo, 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 and he goes like, yep, yeah, and I just, listen, as much as I like him, another part, I want to fucking just stab him in the throat while he's eating. He has a mouthful of gut full of fucking food just barreling out of his throat. I want to stab him in it, and I want to watch the blood and the eggs come out of the hole in his throat.
And you hear gurgling, just
go,
gurgling.
Like that. I want to see the life leave his fat fucking body.
I'm surprised people even give this guy the time of day.
That's what I want to see.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. You got fucking hordes of people walking across highways catching imaginary monsters on their fucking cell phone right now. Nothing
Pokemon Go. I know. That's fucking nuts.
Listen, Pokemon Go is a beast in its own. It's a whole nother beast of something.
You don't win anything. What do you win?
There's nothing to win at all. You don't win shit.
At least if you won money, you have an incentive. But now you win nothing. Yeah. You're dying out there. You're going out there risking your life.
Well, good. No, I say
people
good.
Are getting hit by cars.
Let them get hit by cars. We need less stupid motherfuckers because stupid motherfuckers.
I don't blame you, but
that means they make stupid motherfuckers. So let them all die. Let natural selection fucking take course.
I know the catchphrase is "gotta get them all," but come on, guys, do we really gotta get them all? Like, you get nothing.
Well, it was like when I used to play Call of Duty. Ken, you remember this shit?
Yeah.
We used to play Call of Duty. We'd be in the fucking lobby, or even Halo, and you'd have a guy going on and on and on about how good of a game he had, and I would click over, my guy, you go to the nearest bar, find the hottest chick, go right up to her and say, dude, I had fucking 45 kills in Call of Duty the other day, and see what she says to you, you stupid fuck. Like, nobody gives a shit.
She wouldn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You to suck your dick because you had a good Call of Duty game? Just shut the fuck up.
Yeah, you're right.
Nah, I got a good point.
I mean, listen, it don't mean shit. It don't mean nothing, man, honestly.
Right.
Really
maybe it makes a kid's day that, to play that game. But
I'm addicted to video games, obviously. I can't fucking, like, I'm not addicted to video games. I've played Pokemon, like, Game Boy years ago, and it's a role-playing game is basically what it is, and you catch a monster and you fucking train it and all that shit. But there's way more better role-playing games out there as far as I'm concerned. Let
me tell you something, that whole Pokemon thing, as soon as they said, you got to go and hatch your eggs, you got to go and plant them and watch them grow, I said, okay, that game's done with me, because if I'm not getting anything out of standing there and fucking hatching shit, I got to go hatch things and I got to walk around to make them hatch. Well, guess what? No. And guess what they're doing? They are tying their phones to their animals or their ceiling fans or anything that they can so their eggs hatch quicker. Can you believe
my
this?
God.
They are attaching it to ceiling fans and they're attaching it to their animals so their eggs hatch. Hello?
What the fuck ever happened to going out and playing sports? This is what we need today to get these people to go outside. We need a fucking phone game.
This is just it.
I mean, come on.
They go and they take a game that can help you out and get you out of your house, get you walking around, get you moving around. The positives that this app does bring to everybody, the positives, and they take it and they take the positives and they pull down their pants and they squat over it and they take a fucking dump on the positive.
Right up the ass.
Because now they'll go and they'll take their phone and put it on their dog's collar and let Tippy go run around in the backyard till Tippy's fucking half dead because it's 100 degrees out and they don't even get water. But yet they're eggs hatch in Pokemon. That gives them nothing in the real life.
Wake the fuck up.
Nothing. Unbelievable.
Wake up, people. Wake up.
Yeah, I don't think they are. I don't think they have plans on waking up anytime soon, buddy.
Well, how many people, 20 years ago, had Tamagotchis, which was just stupid fucking... what the fuck was it?
What did Tommy C do?
No, he didn't...
No, he said Tamagotchi.
Don't get me started with that fucking poor guy again. I got off the topic, but now you're going to make me fucking... Leave the fucking kid alone, all right? You're going to keep it up. I'm going to start talking about Jeff again, that fucking...
Tommy C's God.
Listen, I got to be honest with you. Jeff seems like a really nice guy. I don't want to be like he's the total asshole.
Dude, Jeff
seems like a really nice guy.
He works his ass off. Jeff had a job since he's like, a young kid.
Right. He seems like a fucking genuine guy, but I've seen mimes that had more to say than he has to say. I mean, I'm not being a dick.
Hey, Mike, not for nothing, but listen, if you was following this kid Jeff for a while, you would tell that he has opened up tremendously within the last year. He didn't say nothing in the beginning. This kid is finally doing his own videos on his own network. He's doing workout videos. He's actually showing his chest and his abs. And
can I say something? I totally see where you're coming from.
Lorenzo, don't make me...
Listen, I'm not trying to pull a Tommy on you.
Don't make me blow you up.
I'm not trying to pull a Tommy. Listen, I'm just telling you as somebody outside, as a viewer, watching the Shot from the Point Network, you could watch Tommy evolve. You could watch Tommy grow as a person. Watching the old videos to the new ones, you could see the guy's got talent. He's very professional about the way he handles everything.
Yes,
he does attack. He does attack.
That's right. You can call into the show right now, guys. 718-7345. That's 718-345 right now, guys. Call in and speak to any one of us right now live on the show. Are you talking about that? Yes, he does do that professionally.
Right, but I'm saying as a person, the guy's growing on his own network. He's finally evolving. He's growing
he's living his dream, man.
And I respect him for that. And we would all do that.
He's
but
his dream.
I feel like he's letting that go. He's letting what he built his network on.
Yeah.
He's selling that ship. That ship is sailing.
What do you mean?
And he's just doing what he's.
You're telling me
he's starting to conform.
Oh, so
He's
like
starting
to what
to
other
conform.
people want to hear from him.
Well, I
Yes.
totally agree with what you're saying. Like, listen, all this shit I'm saying, obviously,
All right, but let
people
me
don't
ask
know
you
me.
this. If you were in his network, what would you do differently?
I'll tell you what I would do. First of all, if you're going to attack Keemstar on and on and on, then have integrity and don't jump on his cock the first chance you get. Now, I know it's hard not to do because you want
now
the
that's going
subscribers.
back to David is gaming. Now now we're stepping on some David HD shit right there because that's what David Little Dick called him out on at to begin with.
Well, I mean, a broken clock's right twice a fucking day. So, I mean,
Well, let me ask
an
you this.
asshole like him is going to be right two times.
If you were on here doing this for 4 years and you had 1,700 subs, that's it. Your friend Dave, Dead on Dave Productions, who has a great network. He does all kinds of shit from sports to wrestling to this to that. He has a great setup too. All of these guys were together at first. Cronin, Dead on Dave, Tommy C, Tommy NC 2010. All these guys were together at first, right? They all did their own separate thing. Tommy C was the guy whose numbers were behind Cronin's, who was in like the 30,000 band subbar, and behind Dead on Dave, who was always in like close to 4,000 subs or somewhere in there. Tommy was always the guy who stayed around 17, 16, 18 sub zone. Now
And he stayed true to himself, didn't he?
Just did sports, hockey. That was it, really. You didn't really see him do anything else.
And what is he doing now, Ken?
Now, listen. In the last 2 months, this guy has doubled. He doubled the amount that he got the first 4 years in the last 6 months. He doubled it. So obviously, what he's doing now, just besides hockey, is doing something for him because now his sub count is going up. He got a podcast with a couple of heavy hitters on YouTube. So obviously, the guy's doing something positive because
He's
the
doing
numbers
something.
are going
He
up.
is.
The numbers are going up.
He's doing something right.
And listen,
But at
not
the
for
end of the
nothing,
day,
you go look at his numbers. He is growing right now on a faster scale than Dead on Dave, and even at a faster scale than the great, give me some money right now, please, Joe Cronin. Actually, his name is Dan Cronin. So,
you got a point.
yeah, he's growing
but Tommy,
faster than all those guys right now.
see what happens is when you get a certain amount of subs and you start to grow,
Yeah.
along with growing is what? What happens when you start to grow as a channel? What happens? You get criticism. You got a lot more haters.
You also got a lot more people who will fucking go to bat for you no matter what. Who will dox motherfuckers? Who will call and squat motherfuckers?
Well, I thought Tommy C is a mad dog. I thought Tommy C is
Tommy
like
was a mad dog, dude. That was his job back then.
Well, then he can handle himself.
Oh, he definitely can with the best of them.
So then he should stay true to himself.
Yeah, I mean, listen,
That's all
he
I'm
had
saying.
an opportunity. I don't blame him for taking that opportunity. I would have taken the same opportunity. Would I have jumped into it right away? I would never have jumped into it less than 24 hours later like Tommy did. But I would have probably done the same thing that Tommy did ultimately, but I wouldn't have jumped in right away to save my own face and be like, listen, I bashed the fuck out of you on live air. I got to go on there and tell people a couple of days later, like, we talked, we hashed it out, and I'm going to try a show where I can bash the shit on you on it, which Tommy did say in a way, I can bash the shit out of this guy on his own show. Tommy sold that point about it, which I would have did the same thing. I wouldn't have done it as fast as Tommy did, but I would have joined the show with him, probably would have ended the same outcome as me. And listen, I am way more of a big mouth, I think, than even Tommy C is. I think a person like me, I don't think Keemstar would want anything to do with something like me because he knows, and you can tell by listening to the Beta podcast, Keemstar talks a hell of a lot more than the rest of these guys do. Even Mr. fucking 007 James Bond over there.
When you're a big YouTuber, he's got the subs behind him, whether they hate him or they love the fucking guy. Just because of the fact that he has so many subs, he has a voice. He's not a fucking legend. That guy's a joke.
He is a goddamn legend.
Listen, the guy, he has a voice that the people don't have because he has that many people behind him.
And Keem will save us all when the time
people watch him.
Vote for Keem for president.
And you know what? You know what I noticed? The more that the people can't stand the fucking guy, the more publicity this guy gets.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Keemstar will not only sign an autograph.
He knows what the fuck he's doing.
Keemstar will also throw you across the fucking room if you'd like.
And under the bus.
Come down to the Keemstar sign-in. He'll throw you under the bus or sign your back.
But listen, it's like what in the Howard Stern movie when they said that the people listened to him the longest and the most are the people that hated him the most. So there's something to that. But at the same time, if you're going to play that card, do not whine like a cunt when people attack you. That's ridiculous. You can be the nicest person on YouTube, and you're going to get people saying shit. That's just, the world is filled to the brim with fucking assholes, and you just have to deal with it. And if you can't deal with it, then just walk away. But don't go on your show and whine like a fucking bitch.
Filthy mouth. You want to know something? Yeah. He did turn around and bitch and moan about having the shit fan thrown at him because he bitched and he made a ton of videos turning around and saying, why me? Why they making fun of me? Why is every? I'm a human being. I'm a. Why do I gotta get treated like this for? Why do people gotta?
Right. He wants to know why so much.
You want to know
hate.
something? Listen.
Why so much?
Listen.
Why?
Like they said in the 3rd episode of the Beta podcast, like they said in that, they turned around and said, "Hey, listen, we want you to know you're a public figure, Keem. You're a public."
Well,
figure,
he was
Keem.
right though. He called him out on it. He was right. He was absolutely right.
No, but listen, he's not a public.
And Tommy actually speaks
He's not a public figure.
If he walks into a fucking Target, there's not one person.
Listen, nobody knows him unless you know what the fuck YouTube is.
Right.
Okay, that's first of all.
Right.
And not everybody knows what YouTube is. Trust me.
Right.
All right?
That's what I was saying with having a voice on YouTube.
Yeah, well, listen,
he is a public figure in a way.
On YouTube, he's one of the many public figures YouTube has. Yes, if you want to call him a public figure, but he's not a public figure.
Yo, but I think that's
obviously, Mike. He could go and say, "Nigga, Alex is a nigga. Everybody type Alex is a nigga." Right? He could go scream that and still have a career. Go and say that as a real public figure and see how long you have a career.
You're right about that.
That's why I think it's a strength, though. I mean, he's making money and nobody knows who the fuck he is. That's good.
Keem knows that what he's on and what he's doing is small fries, but he can make money off of these small fries. See, Keem is a big fish in a small pond. That's what Keem is. Keem knows that he can tap in to this wonderful wealth lying underneath YouTube. It's like a stream of gold. He knows that if he drills at the right thing, he'll strike it rich. He'll hit oil. He knows that about YouTube. He knows that he can drive it home and ride it home on here because he's a big fish with a bunch of little fucking fish in a pond. He knows that.
But it just makes no sense to go on and on about, I gave up a $70,000 a year job, I took a chance, and then in the same breath...
Right, we don't want to hear your life story.
But in the same breath, he's like, oh, I'm getting attacked, I'm a victim. Well, which one is it? Either you're a fucking world beater or you're a whining cunt. You can't be both. It's either one or the other. Which one is it?
And then he has the nerve to shit on FoulMouthsNetwork. But then in the same breath, the guy's talking about how he gave somebody $4,000 for an SUV.
Oh, that shit. Yeah, well,
okay.
I happen to agree with that whole notion about, I hate when people give to charity and then they get like the tax break for it. So you really didn't give to charity then. You wanted something out of it. You know what I mean? I always thought that was bullshit. Right. You know what I mean? Or like when Justin Bieber helps a cancer kid in national TV. Yeah, great. But was that for fucking the cancer kid or was that for Justin
I love that whole charity part in there because it was so funny. Keem is trying to explain to these guys about charities, right? And listen, I don't go right. And I don't go and report it, okay? All right? I don't go and report every time I give to a charity, right? I don't say that, like, last month, this guy, right, he contacts me, right, and his core is out, right? So what do, right, okay? Right? Tommy, shut the fuck up while I'm talking, right? Now listen, I don't write out a check for him, right? And I don't do this unless, right, I'm a giving person, okay? All right?
Right, you claim that you only go after people because they brought your daughter into the mix. But at the same time, you're sitting there trying to prove yourself, and you made a video on why you're still getting hate.
Listen,
if you don't give a fuck, then why are you making a video?
Himself, man. Keem is a victim of himself. He dishes it out, and when it comes back to him, he's not ready for the onslaught, so he sends a fucking SWAT team to your fucking house with AK-47s locked on your children, and he thinks it's all right because it's happened to me, right? Okay? It's happened to me. Yeah, I understand it's happened to you, but by you doing it to other people is just a perpetuation of the fucking bullshit that is going on in YouTube and is like prevalent in YouTube right now at this moment, man.
Choke that cock.
It's fucking crazy. You heard that cock?
Yeah, I heard that
cock. That cock's
busy man. It's a busy man.
But this shit with Keemstar reminds me of like cops that have to remind you that they put their lives on the line. It's like, listen, nobody forced you to be the cop. You knew that you were going to be a cop and deal with shit.
God. You want to touch on that? I'll tell you, man, you couldn't pay me enough fucking money to become a cop. Now
I agree. I agree.
There's no way, man.
You gotta wear a body cam. You gotta go through fucking jump through hoops.
Well, that I understand. I mean, see, the thing is, like, when cops are doing fucked up shit and they were getting away with it, they buried themselves. You know, when you're a cop, even if you're a good cop and you want to speak out against bad cops, the problem is that your cops union is going to come down on you if you, how dare you fucking speak against cops. So now you have this fucking culture of nobody wants to fucking go out against the bad cops. So that's why they put the cameras on their fucking.
That's true.
Dude, you got listen, you got fucking people out there that think Donald Trump's for real. That he believes any of the things he's fucking saying. See, all this shit going on is a bunch of theater. And speaking of wrestling, this Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton shit is no different than Hulk Hogan fighting the Macho Man back in the day, right? And half the people buy Hulk Hogan t-shirts, half the people buy Macho Man t-shirts. They fight at WrestleMania, right? But once the lights are off and the cameras are off and they're backstage, they're friends. Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton have been friends for fucking 25 years at least. This is all fucking theater. It's all this is. The election's already rigged. Hillary's going to be president. Everybody should just sit back, relax, and enjoy the entertainment, because that's what this is, just entertainment.
Right. All bullshit. It don't matter who the fuck wins. It's all rigged.
A rubber ducky on fucking...
Rubber duckies, lots of fun. Hey, folks, this is Barney. You want to finger my rubber ducky? Yo, listen. I agree with everything you guys are saying, but listen, the fact is, when these guys, when they show you a Democratic person and a Republican person they want you to vote for, like you said, it's all just a big wrestling theater type of thing.
Right.
And you know what? No matter what side wins, they have control over everything.
Right.
But the difference in this one is, and I think, is that the reason you saw all these Republicans not show up to that fucking thing the other night is because they know, and the Democrats know, that if this schmuck with a fucking sheep on the top of his head walk around, you know something's alive underneath that fucking thing. When this guy walk around with that thing on his head, if he wins, they don't have their guy anymore in there, and they're like, fuck, we need to go, and we need to make sure Hillary wins this now, whether we're Republican, Democrat, doesn't matter. Whatever they are, they got to get Hillary in there, because they know if big old fucking Trump gets in there, well, guess what? We don't have it that easy anymore. So that's the only reason I will vote for Trump, because he is the guy who is like, fuck, we don't have our hand up this guy's ass as much as we did with Hillary or one of these other assholes that would have won from the Republican side, like a Rubio or one of those puppets. You know what I'm saying?
No, I understand what you're saying, but you
That's
gotta be
why
careful.
I'm voting for him, though.
Trump is very, like, people say he's an idiot, he's this and that. Trump is very, very smart.
Oh, yeah.
He's brilliant.
Can't be that stupid if you're a billionaire.
Mike, listen, you got to admit, the Republicans and the Democrats do not want him to win, right or wrong.
Well, see, when he picked his vice president, Pence, I mean, he's as establishment as you can get. So I don't even know what the fuck that was all.
He wants to show people, all right, I'll have someone in there that's established.
But the thing is, I've been saying this since day one. I really don't think he wants to be president. I think this is just, let me put myself out there. I'll put my campaign. I'll have this campaign. I'll have all this fucking publicity. So win, lose, or draw, he's going to make more money. His name's going to be bigger. He's going to command more
Well, he
money.
is, and he also can put his son in office 4 or 8 years from now.
And
Because his son is the one who made out of all this. If he wins or loses, which he probably is going to lose because Hillary's got it locked. Whether Trump wins or not, Hillary's got it locked. Okay, and that's a whole.
That's so it's absolutely. It doesn't
Yeah, that's a whole.
Well, he should be behind fucking bars.
But what I'm saying is,
Yeah.
Trump is looking at this right now, saying to himself, "Hey, listen, if I lose, which I'm probably going to, my son steps out of this in a huge light, and he can get us in there one day and do the things that I want to do." And that's what's going to happen eventually.
And one of the things he wants to do is fuck his own daughter. So maybe he'll get to do that. Well, he said, what do you mean, oh my God? That's what he said. He said, if she wasn't my daughter, I'd be dating her. He wants to fucking stick his fucking German
So does Hulk Hogan.
into his
Hulk
daughter's
Hogan.
fun. Well, I mean, I can't argue with that.
Speaking of wrestling, I caught Dead on Dave's stream like a week
Listen,
ago.
I love Dead on Dave's show, man. He's awesome. That dude is the most... Listen, when I watch Dead on Dave, and I watch him for wrestling sometimes, I enjoy watching Dead on Dave talk about the wrestling for a couple of reasons. Number one, he doesn't tell you his view or this guy's view. He just tells you the facts. That's number one. Number two, he doesn't sit there the whole time begging for a fucking donation for his show or for his charity. Or once in a while, he says, buy a shirt. You watch other wrestling programs, all they're doing is begging for a donation, begging and begging. I mean, it's to the point where I'm surprised they don't whore their wife on YouTube, right? They're like, here, take her for one night. Throw me $50 for my network.
Oh, definitely. You could tell Dave enjoys what he does.
Yes, Dave,
you
he
could
really
tell.
does. He does it with a passion, the guy. You know what I mean? He does it with a passion. You could tell. I love watching him.
Listen, the guy sucks. The guy sucks.
Yeah.
I'm only kidding. I don't even know who you talking.
Oh, you don't watch wrestling, really. I'm telling you.
I'm just being a dick.
I'm telling you, yo, Filthy, if you watch this guy and you still watch wrestling like we used to when we were young, you would really appreciate what this guy does because, you know, he's a little bit younger than us, so he's a little bit from a different era. When you watch it, he does give you that flavor, that feeling of like the old days talking about wrestling. So that's why I dig him. I always love Dead on Dave Productions, no matter what he does. He also does a hell of a job with the baseball. I mean, you got to check out if you're a baseball fan, which I know you guys are.
Is this the guy? Did he used to have a show on Opie and Anthony's channel?
Dead on Dave?
Yeah, there was a guy that was on at nights on Opie and Anthony. Is he like a real maniac, this guy? Like he's fucking screaming and yelling and carrying on?
No. He's not
okay,
like that.
that's a different guy. All right.
Nah, yeah, but he is good, man. He has a whole shtick that he does. He's got like this dry humor. I mean, I know you really haven't seen him. He's a funny guy, dude. He's a really nice guy. I've spoken with him a couple of times. I actually done more than spoken with him, but he really is funny as fuck. But what were you going to say, Lo?
I think that Dave, he's on to something. I think if he did what he did the other night, he did a live stream. He was speaking about all different topics, not just wrestling. He didn't just touch on wrestling for that night. I think if he continues down that same path, he might go somewhere.
Yes,
because
I do too, and you know, like it's what I said before. When you're doing like a certain genre, whether you're doing hockey or just wrestling, or you're doing hockey and wrestling, or you're doing hockey, wrestling, and drama, you're limited to where you're going to go if you're doing just one thing. And for a while, you know, Dave is just doing wrestling. But you're right, I did see a couple of things. Now, I haven't been watching him for years, but for the months that I am watching him, he has hit on other topics besides just wrestling. You know what I mean? And I do notice that other wrestling stations on YouTube are trying to create like a news drama channel with the success that they've had with the wrestling. But when I go and check out those things and I see like this weekend, the news brought to you by this asshole, just any Tom, Dick, and Harry bringing you the news. When I go watch these things, I laugh because listen, stick to wrestling because you obviously can't do the fucking news. You're horrible at it. Just stick to what you're fucking doing and stick to wrestling because some of these guys think too big for their britches. They try to fucking, I'm going to be Ted Koppel now. Like, dude, stick to your wrestling. Stick to what you're good at.
Tommy
you know
seems knowledgeable. Tommy seems like he's got knowledge.
Yeah, Tommy sees on another level, man. He really is. Tommy can cover.
He's got something.
He's smart. He's a smart guy. He can cover a lot of things as far as if you want to talk about aspects of lore and things like that. You want to talk about like history. Like he's very good with that stuff. You know what I mean? There's no doubt about it. But see, our whole thing is And this is why I bring you guys on, and like why we got together and did the things we've done. And like I said at the beginning of the show, you went to the Connecticut Broadcasting School, also the local one here in Westbury. You know what you're doing. You know, Mike is a local guy. He writes, he knows what he's doing. The Long Island and the New York and the East Coast flavor. We know our comedy. We know that. I mean, for Christ's sake, the genre of it all started on this area. You know, the whole Howard Stern thing, and I've heard
Eddie Murphy.
And exactly. And
Eddie Murphy.
I've heard Tommy C mention numerous times that like his favorite guy in the world, Imus. Yeah, Don Imus.
God.
Now, you know, like, listen, I don't necessarily agree with Don Imus, but I am a Howard Stern guy. I love Howard Stern. If I was going to critique myself after anybody, radio-wise or interview-wise, it would be Howard Stern. And that's just from growing up in that genre, listening to that guy since I was born, and that whole thing. And, you know, listen, everybody's entitled to who their guy is. You know what I'm saying? But
no, they're not. No, they're not. Imus, you listen to Imus. You must be shitting in your fucking drawers in a nursing home. I mean, really, who the fuck listens to that?
Well, yeah, listen, Tommy, listen.
Goggle-faced fuck.
He's right, Ken. Howard Stern's respected.
Yeah, but listen, you gotta understand. Tommy is a little bit older than we are, guys. Tommy C is a couple of years older than most of us are, and he comes from a different genre, man. You got to remember that Stern wasn't around his whole time listening to radio, so he was listening to what was popular before Stern really took it over, and that was Don Imus.
Right, but then Stern came in, right? He
revolutionized it, man. He changed the whole game.
But it's not even that. That's part of it. But what's amazing about him was the FCC and the company was coming down. He was getting fined. He was getting threatened, and he never fucking back down. He said, "Fuck you! I'm gonna do what I fucking want to do."
He gave up money. He gave up money, man, to go to shittier places
to keep it 100.
Yeah, to keep it 100
at all. But now he's a billionaire. He went on America's Got Talent, and now he's a cunt. Now he's sucking Rosie O'Donnell's pussy. Meanwhile, 10 years ago, he was calling her a fat cunt.
He's not on there no more. He's not on there.
No, but what I'm saying, ever since he went on there, he became a Hollywood fuck. You know what I mean? Like,
that's the nature of the business
and shit. Yeah, but you know what? He lost integrity that way. Yeah. You know what I mean? He's not.
If you don't conform nowadays, you're not going to stay in the limelight anymore. You're going to go out of the mainstream.
I say fuck it.
Have to go
I say fuck it. You know, like
it's hard for them. They're addicted to this.
I'm a guy that doesn't need acceptance, so maybe I'm different. We're doing this show, and this is just me.
I don't know. If I was in Howard's position, I don't know what I would do.
What I would do is I would take the $1 billion and do whatever the fuck I want. You know what I mean? Like, who is he trying to prove to?
Well, the guy, if you got $1 billion, why not have 2 or 3? You know?
What the fuck is this fucking asshole doing right now? What the? Oh my god!
All right. Anyway, guys, listen.
All right, we're obviously getting
we are pretty far in this inaugural podcast, guys. We talked about a lot of good things, a lot of cool things today. We talked about Jeff having a coffee enema. We talked about fucking Tommy C and what's going on over there in that world. We talked about Dead on Dave abductions over there. We talked about the Dan Cronin dickhead lookalike show, and we also touched on David SD card small cock is gaming. We touched on that as well.
Well, hold on, before you close it out, now that you mention his name again, if he's listening to this right now, listen, I'm gonna come over to Great Britain and I'm gonna dig up your fucking great grandparents and fuck their skeletons. How's that? See what you do with that. All right, Dave? See what you do with that. Fucking Scott. You fucking twat.
Wow. David, small dick.
Those are fighting words.
Come over there. Shit. I'm gonna bend you over. I'm gonna bend
Hey, guess what now? Filthy Mouth Gaming, guess what? You could expect a shitstorm now.
I don't care.
A shitstorm. And guess what's gonna happen next? You wanna know? He's gonna put out a video.
To get a flag.
And he's gonna go, I'm gonna flag you, and then I'm retiring from Skype. Now you made him retire from Skype now. He's done from YouTube. Tommy C made him retire from YouTube, and now you're making this fucking guy retire from Skype. Thanks. Thanks, filthy mouth fucking gamer.
That's right.
You are the lord of all chaos.
That's why I'm not a filthy mouth for fucking no reason. No.
But
Step
anyway,
your life
guys,
up,
listen,
David.
we did touch on a lot of topics today, and listen, this podcast, I hope, gets better and better. We're going to be basically going to come on here once every week, once every 2 weeks, and if you like us, please, guys, hit that like button below me with a frozen rope in your mouth, making your teeth in your mouth melt like a fucking whore on 52nd Street. But hit that like button, and also please subscribe to the channel, guys, and get us going, get this stuff off the ground. And listen, we're doing this podcast whether there's 90,000 people watching or one person listening or whatever the case may be. We do this for fun, and everybody can listen to it or not. We really don't care. But we're going to be here doing our thing every other week. And we have a lot more to come. We have more videos. We have a lot of things we're working on. Look forward to dealing with the public, dealing with you guys, whoever likes the show. We're going to have a number to call in on live shows pretty soon once we get off the ground and do this. But guys, thank you very much. I want to say a big shout out, Beard Gang, for letting us play their music. We really love
Moto, that motherfucker.
Moto, want to thank him big time, Moto, and the rest of the guys that are with Moto and all that. We want to thank them so much for letting us use that hotness. And a bunch of big ups to the guys down at Tommy C's network, and Dead on Dave, and Jeff, and Frenchie, and all those guys. And Real Talk, big shout out to Real Talk. Congratulations on that co-host spot on the weekend with Shot from the Point Dead. And guys, we'll talk to you guys soon, and we're going to have this taking us on out, Moto with the Beard Game, once again, taking us out from the FoulMouthsNetwork. Thanks, guys. This was Keeping It 100.
The extraordinary